Grandpa, can you hear me? Hi. That's the thing. The mic wasn't hooked up completely. That's great. Hi again. Today is April 12th, 2022, Tuesday. It is a Tuesday. Dolly is behind me, running around. Ah, the little the the indicator for volume wasn't showing up, so now it is though. After pushing the XLR cable into place, that helps. Ah, this morning I went to take my shower, and inside of the bathtub I found two springs, two of the kitty toy springs inside of the bathtub together, hanging out by the drain. Dolly must have had a really good time with springs in the bathtub at some point, I think last night. So that was a thing. Um, How'd the weekend go? Well, I spent most of it on Factorio, continuing with off-screen work. We have a bit to cover with that. But yesterday, yesterday I started to do some raking of the front lawn because, yeah, the lawn it needs to be mowed, and our guy who comes over, supposed to come over every month to mow the lawn, has has been out of action for several months, and he's going to be getting a hip surgery at some point. I hope he's already done it, but it was delayed at least once. It was supposed to have happened like in January, but it got pushed back a bit. So I don't know what's going on there, and if he'll ever be recovered enough to continue doing this type of work. So here I am. I'm outside to rake the lawn. We have a lot of pine trees. A lot of pine trees in our front and backyard. We've got two in the front and several in the back, at least 3 or 4 more in the backyard of just pine trees covering the whole of our sky over the house. And we're constantly getting pine cones raining down, hitting the roof, making big noises on the roof, and of course, all over the lawn. And it hasn't been raked since the last time it was mowed in like October, November, somewhere along those lines. So we've got several months of buildup of the pine needles and pine cones, as well as twigs and branches from some pretty big windstorms and regular storms that we've had go through. I am not someone who works out. I am extremely out of shape. I got only part way through after about 40 minutes of doing an amount of raking in the front yard before I was done for the rest of the day, and I am quite sore. And my back is sore today off of just like 40 minutes of being outside raking, and I'm not done yet. I have to keep going out there. We also need to get like clear plastic bags to actually, you know, get rid of all the litter off the lawn. Since in this area, you are required to put your lawn litter, like leaves and stuff, into clear plastic bags and schedule a pickup time for getting rid of it. You can't just toss it. You have to have it like in clear plastic bags on the front of the house, like with your other trash, and you have to schedule the pickup. As like a special pickup. So that's a project. And we have to do that before we can even mow the lawn, and the whole time the grass is growing, so the longer it takes me to do this, the taller the grass is going to be by the time I mow it. But I need to rake it to get as many of the pine cones out as possible, because the last thing I want is to use the lawnmower and then get hit by pine cones constantly. Ah. So, Oh, and the twigs, of course. The twigs being the bigger issue. Need to get rid of all the all the like branch material off of the lawn. That's the like real main thing, and the lawn is just covered at this point with twigs and branches. So I need to get out there and clean it all up. It's rather unfortunate our lawn guy is not healthy enough to come out and do it. He definitely earned his I think it was $75 a month that he was getting for taking care of the lawns front and back. It definitely is earned. Anyway, so Factorio. I've done a few things between streams. Today's goal is to, at the very least, set up the Circuit 3 factory, or high-tech circuits, whatever you want to actually call them. I will refer to them as Circuit 3s because they are the third primary circuit. They are the equivalent of blue circuits in Vanilla Factorio. And it's just a modification of the blue circuit recipe. It's how the game treats it as coded. I've started using beacons. And the last time we met as well, what did we do? We set up cobalt chromium alloy, we set up lithium niobate, we set up magnets, biobatteries, epoxy, mounted circuit substrate, heavy p-dope silicon, and advanced coating. Those are all the things that we did last time. We set up, like, here's the magnets, all wonderful and full of entities. Set up a few things. We're still not done. I have begun using beacons, and I've gone back over a few of the builds we did last time and converted them to be beacons. Bacon-based. Yes, glorious bacon. We have a lot of bacon. And in general, outside of doing all of the logistics work, the train station logistics work to actually feed all the factories that we set up last time, I have been focused on two things. One is overall factory entity reduction, as well as improving the Circuit 2 throughput. Because my Circuit 2s, to this point, I have had this factory here for a while with 2 chip shooters with productivity modules. And up to this point, this has not been operating at 100%. This should now be operating at 100% thereabouts. I'm pretty sure there's no buffers being drained at the moment. It's been going at this 100% for several hours at this point, so I think I'm okay. And will I try the Pi AE Alpha? No. I will play Alternative Energy once it is released. After completing this save. That will be when I play Alternative Energy. I will not be going into the Alpha. I don't really have any reason to look at it. A lot of what's present in there has already been shown off anyway. Like the only reason to look at it is to actually see the new buildings and get a generalized idea of the types of processes that it's going to be putting in, but it doesn't have the entire tech tree rebalance that's coming and a whole bunch of other rebalances that are coming. So I don't really see a point. Oh, and Alternative Energy is, as far as I'm aware, there's extra like spawned resources coming. There's like a rare earth ore type coming, and that will require an update to what the heck is the name of the thing? I've already forgotten. It will require a change, an update to resource spawner overhaul for any added resources into the game. Yeah, 3 new ore types. Yeah, resource spawner overhaul needs an update as well to add those resources to spawn in. Ahem. So that's also a thing. I won't be able to really play Pi Alternative Energy until a patch is released to Resource Spawner Overhaul to add in support for those ore types. And I would not take into consideration any aspect of difficulty to Pi Alternative Energy. You saying it's tough, I wouldn't take that at all into consideration, considering that it's alpha, numbers are going to change, and an entire rebalance is coming to the rest of the mod set along with it. So we should only make that determination once we have a full release of all of these updates that are coming. Only after that can we make a determination as to whether or not it's making things significantly more difficult than things currently are. Anyway, just to briefly talk about some of the things that I have done between streams here. So I mentioned I did the logistics for all that other stuff. I have set up, if I can find, I'll have to do this by searching in here, purified quartz. I now have purified quartz. This is the area where I was providing my, or I am providing my powdered and crushed quartz lines onto trains. I am now providing about 5 per second of purified quartz through the power of bacon. This is about, says 354 beacons with level 1 speed modules. Just a few. It's just a few. Making the slaked lime, making creosote in order to actually get that purified quartz, because that we need both of those things. We need the slaked lime and we need the creosote, if I can remember what uses the creosote in this. Hello? What uses the creosote? Oh, up here. Yeah, the actual purified quartz. So I did this as it's the same building, the centrifugal plant, and I just did 2 steps on the same line over here. So that's that part. Yeah, before I started using the beacons, I had, been scaling up without using them. Going forward, I am going to use beacons. I'm going to design every new factory around the concept of maximum beacons. The maximum amount of beacons that I can possibly get. Let's see, so what else? What else is there? Etching solution. I have improved the output of etching solution. I had mentioned that this was a bottleneck last time. Again, through the power of bacon, I now have a bunch. In fact, you know what? I just picked up the utility science upgrade to bones, so I actually have to go over here and change this recipe to the best bone output recipe, because it does not automatically switch. Not always, anyway. So yeah, this is about 200 per second of etching solution. At least it should be, theoretically. What's next? Nexalit! Oh boy. Yes. So I have now the final 2 tech upgrades on Simics, and I have picked Nexalit digestion as well as the uranium digestion. Now, I was going to pick titanium. Up until I got this tech, I was going to take titanium. Why? Because this thing is freaking awesome. It is extremely high output on titanium. This needs to be nerfed. The amount of molten titanium you get out of this exceeds doing sintering of titanium. It's above and beyond on output here for the titanium. It's just absurd how much molten titanium you get out of this process. And it gives you high grade, so you can sinter that too. You can reduce and sinter that too. So it's like, oh my god, the amount of molten per unit ore is insane on this. But Nextlit digestion, even though the output is lower than sintering for Nextlit, it saves a ton of side inputs. It saves me a lot of side inputs and entity infrastructure overall. So I went with the Nextlit because of that, primarily. I was comparing a 90 output here through just the normal way I was doing it previously, which was, yeah, a few buildings in order to do this without any beacons. Compare that to this, minus the beacons on here, which Helmod says 872 on the beacons. Yeah, that's a bit of a savings. It's a bit of a savings. I had an entire train square dedicated to making 90 Nextlit. Now, I can sort of fit like at least like 5 of these in one square, making 90 per second. It eats a little bit of this stuff, the biosamples, but that's really about it. Now, funny thing about beacons. The funny thing about beacons, you can put alien life modules inside of beacons. And they work on any building type that is affected by the life beacon, by the life modules. At the normal half rate for the beacon, but still. Imagine if we had Bob's beacons. Imagine if we had Mark III Bob's beacons, which have 100% distribution efficiency and take how many modules each? Like 6? At least 6, I think, on the Mark III Bob's beacon, and it's massive coverage as well. You can put like 3 layers deep or something like that on the Bob's Mark III beacons. Yeah, every one of these buildings would be operating at basically the plus cap, the speed cap. But for now, because we don't have Bob's modules or beacons, hint hint, the next time I play Pyandons mods, I will absolutely be using Bob's modules and beacons. I will absolutely be doing that every single time we will ever play Pyandons mods going into the future. That shall happen. It shall happen. So yeah, just basically all of my builds need to be redone like this. With a few exceptions. Essentially any building type that has a ton of modules built in, as in anytime that the module count or the individual modules have a pretty low speed bonus, it's not as valuable to do this. And of course, the smaller the building is as well, the fewer beacons you can fit around it. But in general, the building types that will get the most value out of doing this are going to be the building types that have fewer module counts, with the individual modules having much higher speed bonuses. So the prime example of this is Botos, of course. Botos, if I can find where I built this build. Botos hit the speed cap using Mark I modules in Mark II buildings with 6 beacons total. They hit the speed cap off of 6 vanilla beacons. Speed cap being 32,767% crafting speed bonus. It cannot get faster than that. That is a hard cap. So 6 for each on Botos. That's pretty good. Now, this also means that there's no real point in upgrading the mark level of these buildings either, because you're always going to be capped by that 32,727% speed cap. That's a hard limit no matter what we do. The only thing that adding or upgrading these mark levels would mean that I would need fewer beacons overall in that setup. Speaking of this setup, this is molten silver. Phyto mining for molten silver. I do still need to scale up my Botos for this, so as much as I like my molten silver here, also I added a mod. I have added a mod to the game officially. I should have thought about this and mentioned this earlier. I have added the long storage tanks mod. Just because Pyandons doesn't really have that great of a storage setup for loading and unloading from tanks onto trains. Specifically the loading onto trains. I was getting a little bit tired of the regular setup that I had with those 4 tanks directly adjacent to each other. What happens with that type of a setup, as I have down here, what happens here is that, say I have a few pumps trying to pump stuff in. Well, if we're trying to load this wagon, or actually this wagon, these tanks empty first, and the throughput between tanks is actually really low. So it ends up taking a lot longer to fill up my wagons because these inter-tank connections are really low throughput for whatever reason. So, hello, welcome. While we're here in this area, I have crude oil on the train network. Crude oil, in this case, is being made out of aromatics through a brand new aromatics build. Oh, I am happy, very happy with this aromatics build. So each one of these units produces about 108. If I can look in my blueprints, it's about 108 aromatics on this blueprint, slash benzene as well per second. And the great thing about this particular setup is that it can be scaled. It can be scaled on the sides to the left and right, as well as vertically. So it's got square scalability. It's glorious, absolutely glorious how well this works. Unfortunately, it does not have built-in voiding of the sand, pure sand, for it. So yeah, it needs a bit of an array of burners to get rid of that pure sand. I know that these were buffed to have higher throughput per individual burner. It's still not enough, frankly. These things burn at 3.33 repeating items per second per burner. Yeah, with my setup arrangement here, it's still a lot of burners. I need to chew through a lot of pure sand for just the like 800 some odd aromatics I need to do this build. So this build makes local carbon dioxide as well as hydrogen in order to get syngas by spending a little bit of nickel. That syngas is being added to the aromatics to produce crude oil, and this unit produces 1,000 crude oil per second, as does this unit produce 1,000 crude oil per second out of a little bit of nickel. That's all we're spending here is just a little bit of nickel, and we're getting 2,000 units of crude oil. Now, this crude oil is exclusively being spent on the brand new and improved bitumen build. So bitumen, now beacon-based, each one of these units is eating 400 crude oil and is producing 1,000 bitumen. So 400 crude oil to 1,000 bitumen, which then the bitumen will make even more crude oil. It can make more than that of crude oil. So yeah, it's a positive loop there. Previously, I had used some bitumen to make crude oil, to make the heavy oil, to make the naphtha for this. I do not think that this is going to be the permanent solution, though, for my bitumen. A permanent solution will make naphtha from shale oil. I think that's my plan. And I will obtain said shale oil through kerogen. Because shale oil into naphtha, you gain 50% volume on here. So you get 150 naphtha from 100 shale oil. As opposed to right now when I'm getting it out of heavy oil at 100 down to 70, I lose volume. In order to get it from the other stuff, the shale oil, yeah, we gain volume from there. So it would be nice. It would be nice to be able to get the shale oil, and to get that through not bitumen, kerogen is the way. Unfortunately for kerogen, I'm going to need to actually get the tech for kerogen. It's a regular purple science tech, but I need to get circuit 3s in order to make retorters. Actually, I need to get circuit 4s to make the retorters. I need both 3 and 4, and heavy fermion. So yeah, it's and carbon aerogel in order to make these. Yeah, so that's a bit of a ways away. It's a little bit of a ways away. So new build, 4,000 units of bitumen coming in. I've also, just because mining drills can absolutely take life modules, I now have 2 mining drills on the oil sands at the speed cap, providing me a few units per second of the shale oil. I am not at all concerned about my shale oil at this moment in time. Okay, continuing on. Oh, we've talked about the bitumen, we've talked about the crude oil, and the next lid in the etching solution of the glassware. Next up is zinc. Zinc! Just a little bit of molten zinc. Do you want to know something? It is in this moment, as I was building this, that I regretted my decision here to pick lead versus zinc. I picked lead because it gives you more lead than sintering for lead. The problem is you need like 300 times more zinc than you do lead overall. So this would have been much better. Zinc would have been much better to get from Simics, but we're going to live with our decisions. This build is 1,000 molten zinc per second. 1,000 molten zinc per second. And I'm going to need to at least double it. Perhaps the biggest kick in the teeth overall being that I am going to need to double this again. And I will need to scale some of these inputs, I believe, specifically the soda ash and the iron sticks. I'll need more of both of those things, and likely more kerosene as well. Because yeah, this is not kind. Going up through high grade. That being said, once I do have circuit 3s, I can do reduction, and once I have circuit 4s, I can do sintering. Not like I have too much space to add that though. Yeah, I don't really have too much space to add that in here. But this is definitely a build. This is definitely a build. Yeah, just a little bit of a build here. That took some time. That took quite a bit of time. Why do we need this much zinc? Because of zinc acetate. Oh god. So much zinc acetate is used in advanced coding that, like, it's too much, honestly. It's way too much zinc acetate getting consumed in here, and these things get used for cooling systems as well. So it's like, oh god, there's so much zinc in tied up in zinc acetate. Plus all the other stuff we need for the zinc acetate. On the agenda is I need to scale up the zinc acetate to more than this, but at least this for now, and you can sort of see all the other shenaniganery I need to do in order to actually do this. I need more nichrome to be able to do this, and also more chromium, but that's 350 zinc to get into the zinc acetate, and this is not productive. There's no productivity allowed here. Another problem. This needs productivity. Step 1. Anyway, so I did that. I scaled up my ferrochrome, started doing the molten-based ferrochrome somewhere in here, as well as started up doing extra cermet. I think that was somewhere over here. Yeah, better cermet through the power of bacon. The power of bacon compels. So all this was just making sure that my Circuit 2 production was on track. Scaled up MOSFETs to about 7 per second as well, wherever I have the MOSFETs, just to be sure I have enough for the Circuit 3s as well. We talked about the molten silver, and I set up 15 per second of the silver zinc alloy somewhere as well. So all of that being said and done, we need to get through approximately 4 or 5. I need to look at my notes again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate builds before the build for the Circuit 3s, and as per usual, this will not be including any of the belt logistics for the train station. So no train station logistics. We're just going to go item by item, station, factory by factory, build the factories, and that'll be what we do today. And between streams, I will do all of the train station logistics and fix any errors that I make, because I guarantee that we're going to have a few errors done in there. So last time we sort of went through these things that I need to actually make separately before getting into the circuit boards for the high-tech circuits. That was the superconducting wire, the superconducting coils, the magnetic cores, and the cooling systems. But as it turns out, in order to actually make one of these, I also need boron carbide. And boron carbide is going to be used for quite a few other things as well. So I want a factory making the boron carbide too, rather than doing this local. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze real quick here. I feel it. It's coming. Is it? Is it burning? Hello, sneeze. Are you gonna happen? Apparently not. It's apparently not gonna happen. So I would think that doing the boron carbide should be first. I need to see where it's used, though. Where is it used? Huh? Not you. It's used in the circuits. That's it. It's used in the actual circuits, right here. Just a small amount on the one high-tech circuit per second. But still, it will need to be set up because this stuff is going to get used on some of the other things that I need to make. All right, now I had also said previously that once we do the circuit 3s, the next thing on the agenda is the 70% uranium powder, and we were going to do the 70% build. I'm pushing that back all the way to yellow cake because I now have CIMICs for the 70% powder for the heavy fermion material. I do need to make the 70% powder for the heavy fermion material, but that's going to be a basic CIMIC build. It will look exactly the same as every other CIMIC build. It will just be outputting the 70% powder directly. But I will still need to do that entire setup for the 70% solution and beyond to get yellow cake. We still need to do all that work. There's no avoiding all of that work. But we don't need to take the time to do that now. That'll come after Circuit 4s, I can tell you that, after the intelligent units. Hi, Dolly. How are you? You gonna join me on the back of the chair? Yes, there's the Dolly. There's the Dolly, pretty Dolly. There's that kitty. How are you? Yeah, bro. So yeah, just a few things. So I decided that once we get the circuit 3s, we're going to go through and make all of the remaining items that I need in order to make all of these Mark III infrastructure. So on the agenda for Thursday will be whatever's left that I don't get through today, which chances are we're barely going to get through circuit 3s, but basically everything else to get into Mark III infrastructure will be what we do on Thursday. That's going to be things like all the stuff for the harmonic absorbers, the heavy fermion material, the diamagnetic material, superconducting magnetic units, superconductors, volumetric energy capacitors, carbon nanotubes, lots of those, titanium, cobalt, chromium alloy, nanoelectrical mechanical systems, or NEMS, resin, zinc nanocompound and nanocomplex, for that matter, zinc oxide nanoparticles, as well as hyperelastic material. Lots of these wonderful things, and just about none of which allow productivity modules. But some do gain productivity through the power of the tech upgrades that we've picked up over time. Very, very, very sad on some of these not being productive at all. It just absolutely blows that we have building level limitations on these molecular assemblers preventing productivity, as well as some things just not taking productivity that really should take productivity. Yeah, these should be productive. This is why I have a mod that I released called Productive Pyandons. And I'm pretty sure it takes the vast majority of these things and it allows productivity for them. Specifically, it removes the building level limitation on molecular assemblers as well as on pulp mills to allow productivity on a majority of these late game items, because that's where it's desperately needed. Ahem. desperately, desperately needed. So, where are we going to begin? We're going to begin with this Boron Carbide. I believe I have what I need for making that stuff. And as I've mentioned before, all of this is going to be done through the power of bacon. So just give me a few beacons so that I have some on me. I have, at this point, 1,400 bacon sitting around. 1,454, apparently, in the logistic network. God, that took a while to get the Circuit 2 production at full speeds so that I could have this. Wow, that's a full storage bin. Those are 2 full storage bins. I need to make sure that these keep moving. Yeah, I need a bigger storage for these. I don't really know if there's like a 2x2 storage container. There should be, actually. There should be the logistics sheds. Yeah, so I can make passive provider sheds, and I believe that these are 2x2. And that would be 75 storage capacity. Or I could just load them straight into storage sheds. 150 size there. All right, I should have all the things. And I've already pre-made a bunch of areas for these factories. So, bunch of train stations. So let's just go item by item as my construction robots finish off building these train stations. So you're going to supply Boron Carbide. That will be that. Come on, locomotive. And you can see that my performance is... it is what it is, shall we say. My performance is what it is while I'm streaming. Bear in mind that I completely deleted the former Nextlit build, which was several thousand entities, as well as the former builds for the Bitumen, which was, again, a lot of entities gone from the face of existence, and we're still pretty low on the performance right now. And it's not like there's very many robots that are currently doing things either, which is also rather disturbing for me. It's like, oh, usually it's because there's a lot of robots doing stuff. Not really. Part of it is the size of the logistic network, the actual physical size of the logistic network, and all of these roboports. The, like, however many... Oh, God. Oh, God! Bad idea. Ahem. The more than 7,000 roboports about the place. Yeah, that's part of the performance decrease, because, yeah, roboports, they're not so good in terms of performance. I'm still waiting for Pyandon to give us higher mark level roboports, because you see the name of this roboport, right? It's Roboport Mark 1. I'm expecting at some point Mark 2s, 3s, and 4s to happen. Ahem. Hint, hint. Part of me is considering getting a, like, super Roboport mod. Didn't I say I was going to redesign the power plants? That will have to happen after Circuit 3s. That's going to have to happen after Circuit 3s. Yeah, I want to... That's a lot of entities. That's several thousand entities right there. At least 2,000 or 3,000 factories alone. More than 1,000 factories in here. Times 6 or 4 times 4. Yeah. That's biggie as well to clean up. I've been thinking about what I want to replace it with, and yeah, this is probably going to be the solution, doing the 1,000-degree combustion mix. But so this is for 50 gigawatts. This 35,000 combustion mix is for 50 gigawatts of power production. Yeah, it's a bit of a build, but I need to figure out the 9,000 petroleum gas and the 3,000 refined syngas for this. But the 60 coal briquettes, that's quote unquote the easy part. That's like the easy part there. Combustion mix taken away with alternative energy. Well, yeah, it needs to be. Like that, it was never a great system to begin with, and it's very, very intensive on UPS. What is my current science? Am I past blue? Yes, I am past blue. I am doing cotton gut based production science, and I have vat brain based utility science. I do not currently have circuit 3s or circuit 4s. We are making the factories to produce circuit 3s today, and we are going to then make the remaining items to make Mark III infrastructure, and then make intelligent units, the circuit 4s, and then work towards the remaining stuff, the utility science via cotton guts and other Mark IV infrastructure ingredients / space science ingredients. You didn't know they were UPS eaters? Yeah, the way that it's been done, I think, is fairly resource intensive with the combustion mix. The whole idea of percentage based like output of power based off of temperature is not a great idea, as they've come to find out. It's not great. It's not very intuitive, the actual outputs that you're getting. No input fluid. What's happened here? Oh, right. I had some clogging happen on some of these. I need to go and fix that, apparently. Like, half the build is fine, the other half is not working right now. How about you guys? Alright, all these guys are fine. But yeah, just having to, like, do actual calculations to determine how much energy you're getting out from all this combustion stuff is just bleh. Just bleh. I haven't really looked at fusion, and I have to do fusion anyway. As far as I remember, it's very resource intensive, but we shall see. I don't really think that this build needs beacons, to be honest. But whatever, we'll make beacon. We'll do beacons. We'll do bacon. Put power. There you go. Doink, 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 doink. Da, ba, da, ba, 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 ba. Bacon. Let's see. So you eat up a bit more water than I would like. You. I think the next one puts it under 12 or at. Okay. right at 12. All right, then. That will be fine. So basically, I could get more than 1200 per second of throughput of the water. It's just a bit inconvenient and relatively space intensive. Essentially, I would need a pump, a tank, and then like water wells on the tanks, or like a chain of tanks with pumps and water wells on the outside of those tanks, just to have more than 1200 per second of throughput. Yeah, it's ugly, and it's very like not space efficient. I just do not particularly enjoy any of that. So we're looking for 3.1. Why do you say? Oh, right, because right. I have forgotten. I have defaulted to using beacons now. So yeah, this is 221 with beacons. This is 221 with beacons, and it says I need at least 6 beacons for this. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fine, whatever. So I do need 2 with maximum bacon. Excuse me? Oh, right, because I only carried around 3. And then the other one is doing these. Yeah. Just do that. You have a solid requirement as well. Just the other way there. Whoops. No, not that way. There we go. Ta-da. That's a duh build. Ta-da. Again, I will do all the logistics for the train station later, but yeah, that's that. Just 5 buildings plus a bunch of bacon. Next up, what do we got? We got superconducting wire for superconducting coils and other things as well. I was tempted to put these together, but that's a lot of stuff for one train station, so we're gonna stick with this. It's a bunch of research centers. Okay, I need to put in a request for research centers. Problem. This is a hell mod limitation, by the way. For any building that has a tech upgrade, like this one, Metachemo Informatics, that gives my plus 35% productivity gain on the building, I cannot also see how many modules or how many beacons that I'll need for the building. I cannot also apply speed beacons for Hellmod by also having this productivity here. Just rather unfortunate because Hellmod does not support beacons that are non-uniform / different types of beacons, being applied to the same building. Just a limitation of the mod at this moment in time, anyway. If I switch to beacons, it's gonna get rid of this on here, and I want this on here because that, that's 35% productivity and minus 25% speed. So I have to do this by hand. This is a rather big building, so I think that 10 is reasonable. It's going to use a lot of beacons. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be quite a few beacons. I don't remember exactly how big the building is, though. I think it can fit 20. This seems like a 20 building. It's either 20 or 24 beacons around it. But anyway, now that I have that stuffs, let's get to the next building. Are you gonna place those anytime soon, game? Looks like it eventually. Now let's go down here. So this will have 4 inputs. I should be providing Nenbit. Yeah, I am providing Nenbit matrices onto the train network, but likely need to scale that. Absolutely need to continue scaling the optical fiber. We need infinity optical fiber. And there's also going to be things like I need to provide cladded cores onto the train network. I need to provide the neodymium alloys onto the train network. As well from magnets. So a few things where we have factories already built, I need to update. Alrighty then. Fortunately, this is also productive to make these wires here. So not only do we gain a 35% from the tech upgrade, we'll also get more productivity over time with better infrastructure. And better modules as well. So how many... Oops. This needs to be placed by bot to actually gain that 35% bonus to productivity. So we have 43% productivity off of this right now. Now the question is, how much bacon? Oh, that's so unfortunate. It's only 16. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I was hoping for 20. I was really hoping for 20. But no, it is only 16. Or is it 20? No, that's 20. Wait, no, that is 20. Yeah, that is 20. Okay. It was close to 24. Just hashtag 1 tile off from 24. Oh boy. If it was just 1 tile larger. Anyway, the speed that we get on here is plus 370 with these level 1 modules. That's another thing that will throw off all of my numbers on all of these factories that are surrounded by beacons. Is, we're going to get better modules, better speed modules over time. I think the level 3s are plus 50, 60%, somewhere along those lines. What is the level 3 again? 7. It's 50% speed on the level 3. So yeah, that's going to change how many beacons I need / how many factories I need overall. Now this should be accurate, meaning I will need in order to get 20, I will need 8 research centers. May as well do all of the logistics here. I need 4 items in and 1 item out. Great! Fantastic, even. And none of these are greater than 45, so I can use loaders. Just like that, and we can have a line. Actually, we're not done yet. We need the output. Why did I do this way? I don't know. Usually I have the input on the left and the output on the right. Shall I cut and flip? And then output. Whoops. Need to actually have that there. Ta-da! Now, if I wanted to save more beacons, I should really have this be a square, or two columns of 4, I should say, rather not a square, but a rectangle of 2 columns. But the amount of beacon savings there is relatively minimal. I don't think it saves too awfully much on a build this size. Essentially, only 1 beacon covers 4 at the corners, so it would save like 4 beacons overall, I think, something like that. And that's all it would save. I will add you there. Hello, Ollie. Oh, and Dolly left at some point. How's Ollie? Yeah, how's the pretty boy? Let me turn that on. How's the boy? Aw. Aw, there's the boy. Wee. Ah. Controller in the way. Hi, Ollie. He's like nuzzling against my hand. Hey you, big boy. How's that big boy? Yes, big boy. Yeah. Sniffies. Aw. You going to the side? What you doing over there, Ollie? Hey. Yeah, you coming over here now? Yeah. Oh, that's my hand. Yes, that's my hand. You're rubbing. Anyway, yeah. Hi. How you doing? Oh, you're resting now. You're resting right there. All right. Well, we've got shoulder. We've got cat shoulder on that camera. I guess there's no point keeping that up. Oh, hi. Now you're gonna groom. Sure. Just groom right there. How you doing? Are you leaving? Where are you going? No, don't try to grab at my plate. He's there now. Hi. Yes, groom. Get pretty. Well, that's that. That's that build. Next. Oh boy, this is a build. Yeah, and it needs sand castings as well. This is gonna be great. I believe I will need other buildings for this. Oh, I didn't. I did half. Ahem. That's the build. That's the build right there. There. We're done. Go back. Get a restock going. Give me some... Yeah, groom. Groom. Give me some smelters. And... where did I put that just now? Uh-oh. I said give me some smelters. Give me some... steam crackers. And I think that's all I will need. Yeah. So this build will already be bringing in bitumen, so I'm not concerned about the sand casting requirement here. Oh, there he goes. He's grooming the inside of his leg. The leg is up. The leg is up. Trying to see, it's like, what is focused here? What is focused? There's the kitty. I need to, like, be able to raise this camera higher. Just a little bit. That would be great. Anyway. Logistics. Bring me stuffs. And things. I like stuffs and things. This build is probably going to be in here. This next one. What do I want to put here? I don't remember. Because, yeah, this is going to be a big train station as well. Huh. I don't remember. I'll make things fit. I'll make it fit. This was going to be the circuit factory. I think I should have done this, like, here. In this factory. Uh-oh. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Everything is fine. Okay, we got stuffs. You there. We'll do this here. We'll just build and not using as much of the space as we can. Just in case I need, like, infinity down there of doohickeys, because we also need to do this and this. Right. Something is over there and something is here. Which one uses more? This one uses more. So this, excuse me, between these two, yeah, this one uses more between the two of them, and this is pretty much a really small factory. It's just 12 overall stations, whereas this one is... oh. No, this one's 10 stations. This one's 11. Oh, that's 11 wide. So yeah, this one's 12 and this one's 13. Interesting how it changes the amount on the size here. Hey, Ollie. He's resting. He's resting. Yes, that tail flicked immediately. He's like, please don't touch me now. It's like, don't touch me now. Anyway, this is our thing that we're doing next. And we're doing it right in here. Just keeping in mind that I need enough space for 12 items. I guess it makes sense to at least get a measurement. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. And 2. So that's my measurement now. The bots will not really be able to build this unless I add in extra roboports within build range. Here. Here. That's all I need. All right. We're good. We're good. Now back to you. All right, then. So, have I planned this out well? Not really, because you don't have your stuff yet. You don't actually need any beacons. I shouldn't do beacons around smelters. I really shouldn't. It's just a waste of kerosene to do it that way. Any reduction in building count is offset by the increase in building count for the amount of kerosene that's going to be expended on it. So realistically speaking, when I can use efficiency for smelters, I should. Unfortunately, I can't on this particular recipe. In fact, every recipe that uses hot air cannot use efficiency modules. I don't really know why that what decision was made, but there is something that is preventing the use of efficiency modules on every single recipe that uses hot air. I guess they were trying to make it so that you can't use productivity modules on everything that uses hot air, and probably just redefined the modules allowed to just be speed rather than speed and effectivity. So yeah, it's not kind, to say the least. Not kind. Everything else here looks like it's moduled. So of course we're starting with our oil burners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Burners cannot be beaconed. They don't have module slots. That will be that. You. There's the beacons. I want to see that you will need 5 at least. I should copy this. All right. 1. Give water. And we need the hydrogen and not the oxygen. So there's that. Next building is the heavy oil refinery. Now, somewhere, I forget where completely, zinc. Yep, molten zinc. I have this already. And an interesting setup here. All right. So we are We need this. Unfortunately, it does not match, so I usually have a gap of 3 tiles in between. It's a gap of 3 tiles to fit a Roboport, just extending the build range on there. And then the cracker as well. Glorious, beautiful steam cracker. This also does not mesh. So there we go there. Steam coming in from over here. Ah, right, for you, the hydrogen is going to come in over here. And you have a bitumen input. This should exist there, just in case of further scaling. There we go. And the crude oil hookup is there. And that is that part of it. All of this is just to make tin rare earth alloy, which really should be its own separate thing, but whatever. I also need sand castings, a whole of 1 per second. Usually this would not need beacons at all. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm actually gonna do it here because it's convenient. Okay, so we want this like here. That extends the range on the thing. This is gonna go up. Probably not from there though. We'll see. Yeah, it's a little wonky. Tell you what, we're gonna take this and put it. Aw, it doesn't quite fit. Really? That fits. I mean, frankly, yes. Yes, that fits. It may be a tile larger than the electrolyzer, but, you know, just, it fits. It's fine. I just need to, you know, get the tar physically brought over. Probably just grab that whole thing, right? It'll be easier this way. Just managed to share a few of those beacons. Ta-da. That makes a bit more than just 1 per second, by the way. It's a bit more than just 1 per second. And, of course, yeah, we've got the bitumen input as well. So, yeah, it's convenient. It's very, very convenient. to build in this manner. Alright, speaking of, we now have 3 of these buildings that are very purposefully going to be separate from these beacons. And the beacons that follow. Although I can make it a bit closer. Can I bring it this close? Yes, I can. Alright. We have 3 inputs. 3 inputs. Thank you for subscribing so very much. 3 inputs. And we have kerosene as that middle connection. Hello, Dolly. Welcome. Welcome, Dolly. Another kitty walking right on past. Getting to the window. She wants to spend some time on the window. Walked right over her brother to get to the window, huh? Okay, and then the heavy oil, of course, is being made right here. And that just leaves... Whoops. That just leaves hot air from up there at the train station. Somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow. And then two. That'll come in together, and then we'll have a another line, I suppose. Yeah, we'll have that. And power. That should work. Ta-da. Alright, then outputs on the side. Can you imagine that this is only like 2? Only like 2 of this alloy? All these buildings? Alright, well that's that part, and then time for the... Oh! I didn't bacon. Why hello there. You need some bacon. I need to default the bacon on those. As it turns out, the defaulting is on a per factory type basis. So yeah, it's 1. It's 1 of these buildings. Yes, that's the number I was expecting it to be. I need to move this as well. I want to keep all of my beacons generally in line with each other. Ba 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 ba. Ta-da! And then probably want one of you in somewhere, but I think this will work just fine for now. Anyway, so stuffs. You need 3 inputs, and you need 4. Okay, yes, we are going to add a little bit more space between these. Put that there. Yes, just a little bit of space. Not like I need that, but, you know, future-proofing. Oh. Boogers. Better. There we go. Yeah, sure. Why not? That'll output, that'll output. Doesn't really need to be loaders, though. You meet up with something. You meet up with something else and go in here. Either the plastic or the wire or the alloy. Alright, the alloy. Oh, right, alloy. Yeah, there you go. And that leads to this one, that leads into this line, into here. So that is the coil cores and the tin rare earth alloy. Coil cores are only used to make this coil. So then it's just the plastic and the wire, and that is the outputs. We are now done with this factory. Just need the robots to come in and build it. Ta-da! And as I have mentioned several times, in case folks are just coming in, I am going to be doing all of the belt logistics with the train stations between streams. After we are done with this stream, I will go through and I will turn it all on. Ah, yes, they're building all this too. That's glorious. That leaves the next thing being the magnetic cores, which, as mentioned, is going to be here. Gosh, I hope that's enough space. Hold on a sec. I don't think that's enough space. Yeah, this one needs more than this. Let me just, yeah. Alright. New plan. I'm going to build this in this station, which has plenty of enough space. And as for buildings, I only need factories. Cool. I haven't bothered to, like, figure out the exact values in here. I just know that I have 16. And then not going to do the thing for the glassworks. Oh, right, this is the cladded cores. So, option, I could siphon cladded cores, and it actually would cut down on the inputs on this considerably, because I actually haven't even broken down the nitrobenzene. Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm going to steal the cladded cores. And that makes this significantly simpler. I'm going to... Oh, yeah, and I have to do the same thing for the neodymium iron boron alloy as well. Yeah, so this will just be 5. All right. Well, so much for that. We can do this here. May as well. I'm going to need extra, like, infinity more factories anyway, so doesn't hurt. And I will do that off screen, just getting the clouded cores from my optical fiber. Yeah, here. This is the clouded cores. I am likely going to redo this with beacons. And also overproduce the clouded cores so I can have enough for this. Similarly, over at magnets, I really need to do this at magnets because this is a lot of buildings. I need to get this excess put onto the train network as well. These are the alloys being used to make a few magnets. Why is only half of this moving? Oh. I have apparently not connected that underground belt. Alright then. Oh, that is my alarm to say that we are in fact halfway through today's stream. I'm gonna grab all that. Sure, why not? One, two, yeah, 3 belts in. Don't need you. And 1 belt out. Ta-da! 2 and 3. Don't need those. Where can you find the mod list? In the Discord, in the Factorio string sharing channel. Factorio string sharing in the pinned messages. It is the 3rd message of the pinned messages, the Pyandons 2021 series mod list. Because this began in 2021. Ahem. We've been at this a while. And when we began, Pi Alternative Energy was a few weeks away. Quotes around that. When we first started, Pi Alternative Energy was a few weeks away. 6 months later. I don't think, has it been 6? When did I start this? When did I start this series again? September 7th. It has been 7 months. Anyway, we are now halfway through today's stream, and we have only the cooling systems to go before setting up the actual factory for the circuits. So I'm going to head back, set myself for picking up electronics factories, which I believe these are also 16. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the vast majority are actually 16 of the Pi suite buildings. And then, of course, yeah, you are also... Oh, you are 1. Okay, with some amount of things, so there we go. That'll be quick. It is, however, halfway through our stream time today, so I will be taking a brief few-minute break, get up, stretch the legs, and all of that. We've got a pretty kitty who'll probably move, but we shall see Hey, baby Ollie, got your paws, all your paws visible. Just about. Yeah, there's the other paw behind the tail. Yeah, we got all the baby paws. Yes, all there's the face. There's that face. His paws. Yeah, I know your paws there. You're gonna grab me. He's gonna grab me. There he goes. All right. I will be back in just a few minutes. And I have returned. Welcome back. Ollie has left the table. So I will turn that off until a kitty returns to the table. I see Dolly is looking at me through from the window through the a gap in the curtains. So hi, you're looking at me. What do you want? Where's my Dolly? Why are you just staring at me? Huh? What am I up to? What am I up to? I don't know. I lean back and she moves to keep looking at me. Where's Where's Dolly? Do you wanna come visit? How about Ollie? Where's my Ollie? I just heard him meow from a distance because he felt there he is. Hi, hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the table, Ollie. Welcome back to the table. Yeah, where you go? Oh, you want to go to my lap, but you can't. I've got a microphone taking up the space in the lap. You can't fit. Oh, Are you gonna go on the back of the chair? Are you gonna go on the back of the chair? Take Dolly's spot? She's still staring at me. Dolly. Dolly, why are you staring at me? Why is she staring? She's staring. She's staring. Why are you staring? Huh? Why are you staring at me from the window? Dolly. Where? Oh yeah, now you turn your head. Now you turn your head when I point my camera at you. Now you decide to turn your head. But yeah, there's a window there. They go from there. They crawl around. They go straight to the window. There's the screen. There's the screen. They walk. They go behind. And there's Ollie. Hi. There's the big boy. Yes, there's the big boy. Oh, there you go. Getting comfy. Getting comfy. Yes. Comfy kitty. Okay, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we have the cooling systems. The dreaded cooling systems. I hate these things so very much because of the advanced coating cost. I really don't care so much about any of the other ingredients to make these cooling systems. I care a lot that it's 1-to-1 on the advanced coatings. Because, yeah, one of these is nearly 15 zinc acetate, which is like 150 zinc plates. Oh, here comes Dolly. Here she comes. He's looking at his sister. Hi. Hey, Ollie. There's my Dolly. She's gonna come through. There's Dolly. Hi. Oh yeah, you don't attack your sister. Come on. Don't attack. Don't go biting. Don't go biting. There she is. There she is. You can definitely tell a difference between the like webcam and the actual camera, digital camera. That one, the digital camera is a lot cooler. It's a lot bluer, and this one's a lot warmer and a lot redder. Big difference here. And also, despite the resolutions being similar, like that other one is way better quality than this. It's like I can make out far more detail at the same resolution off of the DSLR than I can off of the webcam. Used to be a really good webcam. That's the whatever it is, C920, I think. Logitech. But it only does 1080p at 30 frames per second. So it's like, okay, but what about 60? I want like 1080 60. But what are you gonna do? Now all the cameras are like 4K capable. It's like, no, I'd rather just have 60 frames at 1080, thanks. But we also do 4K at 30. Like, I don't care, just give me 1080 60, and I want it cheap. Anyway, hello thingies. I need you first. I guess I should just, you know, do what we've done. Copy, paste, put that there. Ta-da! Only needs one input. Ta-da! And then this, I think, is smaller. Oh. Well, there goes that. Idea. You have 2 fluid inputs. Ta-da-da. At least you still fit 16. It's just you fit 16 perfectly. Perfectly. Alright. That's a lot of stuff. I just want to make it clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 input belts plus an output belt. Five inputs and an output. All right. Challenge accepted. Well, 1, 2, clearly, and an output somewhere. I guess that'll be 4 of the inputs plus 1 there and something there. So we'll have an input. This can be the output, and then input, input, input. Whoops. Input. Da ba da 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 ba da da. And that can be a tile closer, and that's going there. Da 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 da. Ah. Excuse me. Still in the way. Get out of my way, pole. Ta-da! We're done. The train station will be absolutely glorious logistics, but you know. Oh right, there's one more. No, 1 tile down, I think. No, I had it right the first time. Da ba da. Ta-da! Now we're done. 5 inputs and an output. 6 belts. With 2 fluids. Ah, boy, isn't that just glorious logistics? Or you could just have the bots do it, but no. I refuse. Not in this base. Not in this base will I do any of that shenaniganery. It would be significantly easier to have robots do this. But I'm not gonna. Not gonna. You can't make me. As Ollie is now. Sleepy kitty. Yes, sleepy kitty. And Dolly is sleepy kitty. Yes. They're sleepy kitties. It's nap time. It's nap time. Must be nearly noon. Yes, it's nearly noon, so it's nap time. Not like they did much to deserve said naps, but hey. Kitties will be kitties. Let's see. So, what do I need for the circuit factory? I need chip shooters. Duh. I will need the electronics factories, so there we go. Give those back. I will need a gas processing unit, otherwise known as a GPU. I will need a molecular assembler. Oh gosh. Hello, molecular assembler. I will need multiple of those, actually. And that's all. See, that's what I'm talking about. That exact situation is exactly what I'm talking about not doing in this factory. I'm specifically not doing that. That would be significantly easier. The reason being is that I cannot easily separate the logistic networks to make that viable. That's not something that would be doable with one logistic network. You see, I sort of have this one logistic network, and if you design all of your individual factories around bots taking from trains to your factories in each of the little factory areas, what ends up happening whenever there's overlap is that you will have bots trying to travel from here to here to make deliveries, when the whole point is to have the train do that. And anytime there's any overlap whatsoever, because you'd also want to do that for the outputs, right? Like, maybe we could get away with it if all we were doing were the input requests. But still, anytime I were to put have multiple things as providers from the train stations, like for any item I'm requesting more than once, the bots are going to split where they go to grab the stuff evenly, regardless of distance traveled. So you'd still end up with bots going out in the middle of nowhere to try to pick up a item that's provided from a train station at a different factory than where you're trying to request it. So it's like you're screwed no matter what if you have one logistic network. And you can see how much of a pain it would be to try to have the separate networks. Because, you know, the whole point of what I'm doing here is to allow my construction robots to scale for me. And these two concepts are fundamentally mutually exclusive. I cannot have individual logistic networks servicing my stations, my factories, and also allow construction bots across the base in one large network. These are mutually exclusive, and I would rather have the ability to scale quickly. Anyway, all the way over here, you will have the Circuit 3 Factory. And just for reference, just on the factories we've set up so far, it will take me at least 5 hours to do all of that train station logistics. Yeah. Just off of what we've built so far, as seemingly minimal as it's been, the bulk of the work is the train station logistics, and that is the most time-consuming aspect, and that is why I'm leaving it out going forward here. And I think even in future series, especially once we get to the point where I'm building on a train network, building factories in a train network, I don't think I want, unless I absolutely have to, I don't want to focus on spending time doing the belt logistics anymore. It's not engaging in the slightest to do that same process thousands of times. The big part of it is the factory and the logistics within each factory. That's important. That's what I want to show, is like this layout with all of the belts like within, the belts and pipes within the factory. That's important. That's what I'll do. Anyway, where do I even start with this? And am I I'm not even like set up fully because I need this as well. Hey, you take 12, I think. Yeah, just one required there. Always helps to double check. All right, everything listed here. Ah, there's a copper coating. Who uses that? You. Why do you have to use copper coating? Excuse me? Well, I guess that's now another thing I need to provide from the stuffs. Where are my notes? Going forward. Between to do provide cladded cores and copper coating from optical fiber. Redo optical fiber with beacons. All right, I've made my note about doing all that. It needs to get done. So outside of that one item there that needs to be provided, everything else is or will be on the train network, including like the four things, actually all 5 things that we just made throughout the beginning of the stream here. The cooling systems, the boron carbide, the magnetic cores. Of course, the other 2 items were ingredients for the magnetic cores, or an ingredient for the magnetic core in that case. So that's 3. Now, magnetic cores are used for one other thing, and that is the vanadium cores. And those are only used for one thing. And I need to remember what that is exactly. What was it again? Was it you? No. Was it in here? No. Was it you? It was you. Yeah, so it's only for the superconducting magnetic units. These are the only things that use these vanadium cores. Yeah, it's the only use of this deposited vanadium core. And it's the one other use of the magnetic cores. It's only used for high flux cores and for the deposited vanadium cores. And the high flux cores are only used in circuit 3s. Whoops, I really didn't mean to do that. Superconduct. Frick. I never remember the name. This one is SC-unit. One thing in the most recent version of Hellmod is that the search results it's always searching recipe name, the actual code recipe name, and not the what's it called again? What's the word I'm looking for? Not the actual translated text, the actual text of the name itself. The language that's being used, that's defined in a language file for what the real name is. No, it's not. It's not title that I'm thinking of. It's the. Oh gosh, I can't remember. There's a word that applies to what the languages are in video games. The different translations. There's a specific term, and I've lost it. I have lost it. Brain localization. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not searching the localization text for the name of the item. It's searching the actual code. Gosh, all that time just for localization. You know, sometimes it's just hard to word. It's just hard for brain sometimes to word. Build, thank you. So apparently this all by itself without any beacons is fine. Although it needs 17.2 on the pressure pump. You know, rather than using beacons on pressure pumps, I'm just gonna have pressure pumps on the individual things. 1, 2, and an output. That's fine. I can just put you there, make it a little bit easier. Okay, there we go. That is that. Can I blame age? Can I blame age at 31 for problems with remembering words at times? I don't know if 31 is adequate yet. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. That's that. Can I give a quick rundown of how I use Helmod? Define how. Like, define exactly for what. Like, anytime I need a new factory for something, I go in, I add a production line, I hit add a new recipe, I figure out what I want, like what's a good example? Grease, I guess. Search for grease, add grease. Look for which recipe I want to use of the grease. Like, actually, I'm doing this right now with the low distillates, and then to break down the individual inputs, we'll first have to figure out what the output's going to be. Just click big green button there, 500 grease, sure, why not? Click on this, see what modules I want to use. Just clicking on the factory for what modules I want to use in there. And then for the individual ingredients, I can click on the ingredients. It brings up a search, a proper search, filtering by the recipe name. And I can bring up, well, okay, I want to get this low distillate from crude oil. That's how much crude oil I would need. How do we want to get the crude oil? Well, we want to get the crude oil from bitumen. That's how much bitumen gets spent to do this. It needs hydrogen as well, so we can go to pyrote ores, pull in the electrolysis recipe. A lot of this is learning what the icons are. And then for the lubricant, same deal. I can get the lubricant straight from Aromatics if I wanted to, so that's a bunch of aromatics. I know how I get the aromatics, and basically that's the build. Tin chromium alloy provided separately. I don't think this is exactly the same as what I'm doing. Basically, actually it is. Thereabouts. I'm making twice as much of the low distillates though, because I have an actual separate block on here, because you can actually separate blocks on here. So this block has all of this, but I could instead separate all those steps into a separate block and unlink to the previous one to just have something else in here. Yeah, and then just have the lube as a separate block still. Just new block. Now everything is separated. Anyway, and then when I am actually building the factory, there's this little button here called pin, and that brings up this production block as a much smaller window. has a much smaller window. It doesn't include any of this input information on it, like the aggregate input information, but it has all of the ingredients listed on each of the steps. And then as you build things, you can check them off, and you can even hide them. You can even set it to hide the stuff that's been checked. So if you have a particularly long list, you can shorten the window by doing that. And there's this convenient little summary button on both UIs, this convenient little summary button that gives you the total number of buildings of each of the factory types and beacons that you will need for the factory. So there's that. Also, pretty sure this is another 1616 with speed modules. Yep, figured as much. 1616 speed modules, excuse me. Sometimes it doesn't update on me. Yeah, that's a lot of ones, and that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. A whole bunch of one single building setups. Okay. So next up is the molecular assembler here. This does not need any bacon. Ta-da. It has 2 input lines and an output line. Congratulations. There's that. The throughputs are pretty low. That's great. Very happy to see when those are pretty low. Go ahead and put that there. Next is the actual processor. Standard old processors. You take in fluids. Grab this guy and flip it. You have 1, 2, 3 input belts and an output belt. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should do for that. There's your processor cores. How many cores is this processor? It is 1. This processor is 1 singular core. It is not a multi-core processor on our high-tech, for our high-tech circuits. Our high-tech circuits have a single core processor. So that will be those taken care of. Now this little doohickey here, you are a low power resistor that's going to get used. And in the final item, wow, didn't realize you took the low power resistor as well. Alright, sure, we'll continue. Next up is the high flux core. Again, in one of these buildings. No beacons required for you. Wow, you need 10 beacons on the SMD diode step. Wow. Wow. Let's see here. Put that on that side. You need 2 input belts. Move it over a tile and an output belt. Nothing prior. Nothing prior is involved with you, so we'll just continue on. That's going to feed into this building, and you have 2 belts in, meaning I will need to share with something else. Throughputs should be minimal. Yep, just need to make sure that the tinned cable is on the inside lane. And I hope that this can maintain the throughput. Pretty sure it can. Alright, so there's the high frequency SMD inductor. High frequency SMD inductor. Kill that tree. Ta-da. Next, one of these. Again, with even more liquid nitrogen. Again, with the 2 belts of input, and it doesn't use anything prior, so, yep, same ol'. With that output there. Except you are an ingredient going into this guy who needs some bacon. This guy needs some bacon. Yep, this does exactly have 16 available, but only actually need 10. Still gonna set 16. Alright, and you need 2 belts of inputs. Move you a tile. Yeah, throughput is definitely a thing to think about. Yeah, I need to move you another tile. That is fine. Alright, so that would be those done. Only 4 more steps. Can you believe it? Only 4 more steps and we'll be good to go. The train station is going to be absolutely freaking massive, but hey, we'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Alright, next up is you. Yet another item. And this is, the GPU is always a bit of a weird one because the size of the sprite is like a tile larger than the actual hitbox. So it hides the entire top tile. So if I want to keep things in line, it will always look like that it's sticking out a tile when it's not. Alright, so you have 3 belts. Gee, don't I already have? Yes, I already have. Are you using anything we've made so far? Nope. And this will be used to make this. This is what we'll use copper coating. We need 1, 2... blah, 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 blah. What? Wait a minute. That's... Alright, both of these things will be used to make the multi-layer SMD capacitor. So you got 3 belts of input. Need to move this a bit to provide the output belt here. And none of this is being made previously. Both of these are being made previously. So off we go here. Same thing with that. I guess I should check the throughputs. Right. Yeah, that's fine with one at 25.8. How about this one back here? Because I didn't actually check the volume of vacuum that I needed. You're at 18, that's fine. This is 28 with speed modules. So we're good on that front. Very, very, very good on that front. Kitty heard something? What did Kitty hear? What did Ollie hear? He was sleeping and then his head pokes up. That's exactly all I need there. Ta-da. Alright, so there's that output. I will need... yes. This output. I will need this output. I will need this output. And I will need this output. So, time to do some combining of stuffs. Oh, great. Oh, so great. Could I shift you down a couple? There we go. Just shifting those down a couple. So it looks like we made 5 of the ingredients. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, 5 of the ingredients for the final high-tech circuit. Now, this is going to be fun. Big quotations. Big quotations around fun. And first 2 letters, of course, capitalized. No, don't take away my thingies. Oh, you're the same. Okay. Yep, that's about as far as away as I want you to be. Yeah, they took my thingies away. I are sad. Okay, how many belts do we have on this that we need inputs for? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 belts plus an output belt. 8 total belts. Oh boy. 8 total belts. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This, of course, requires shifting over a bit more. We have shifted. Now, I'm not going to have it designed with the inputs coming from the top and bottom. I could add, like, put 2 others. I could move 2 of these to top and bottom, one on the top, one on the bottom, and from the other side as well, another one on the top and another one on the bottom. But I don't think I need it. I don't think I need it. I mean, I already have the 3 here, so it would be 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the one on the output there. Like, there's lots of options. There are a lot of options. And I basically just get to pick on these, which one I want to be the output. Probably you. Ta-da! I mean, that works. That does work. I don't even want to imagine doing this with inserters. I don't want to even imagine doing this with just inserters. Because that would absolutely require using all 4 sides. I'm pretty certain about that. Because you'd end up with a belt coming in there, a belt coming in there, and the same thing on each side. And that would give you 8 total belts to work with. But you'd also need to be like, yeah, you can get away with just on the sides for the inputs though. So that would actually be scalable. Anyway. You could do it. So, as I have said, we've got 3 of these. Well, 5 items. So we have 1 input coming in from there, and then all the other 4 belts of stuff are going to be from the train station. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the train station. We've got the optical fiber, the narromorphic chips, the circuit 2s, the MOSFETs, the cooling systems, the mounted circuit substrate, the gold, and the solder coming from the trains. And that is the Circuit 3 factory. It looks just a bit cleaner than the Circuit 2 factory, thanks to the absolute power of Bacon. Thanks to the power of Bacon and only designing around 1 circuit per second. Just to make that completely clear, this is 1 circuit per second. Okay? All of this is just for 1. Am I going to apply beacons to the old factories as I get beacons and as I have time? Yes, I am going to be rebuilding basically the entire factory with beacons, targeting first and foremost builds with high entity counts. Things like this. like this. Even the chrome from over there, things like this, the ammonia, which I've already redone once. Yeah, the ammonia will be redone, most definitely. Reduce those entity counts. Builds that focus on fluids, though, not maybe too much. Probably won't focus a lot on those, just because fluids are a pain to work with. A complete massive pain to work with. Oh, speaking of which, I never did define the silver zinc alloy. You were in this tab? Yes, you are. Silver zinc, silver zinc. There you go. Okay, get rid of all those requests. Turn on my logistics, and now let's figure out what's next. We still have half an hour to continue working, to continue setting up factories that I won't be able to feed for God knows how long. That I won't have the stuff to feed for God knows how long. I guess it starts with the zinc nano compound. I mean, realistically, it's going to be either the zinc nano compound or the titanium cobalt chromium alloy or the carbon nanotubes, because these are all base materials. As close as you get to base materials for all the other things that I need. Because like even here, like I need another factory for nanowires. Just as another example, it's another factory entirely for the nanowires, I think, because I need the nanowires. Are they only? Yeah, they're used for the Pi Josephson junctions. I'm not doing that recipe for the utility science. I will not be doing that recipe. The recipe that I will be doing doesn't require these. I think. Maybe. But there's no getting around needing to do these things. Yeah, so that's like a separate factory too. But it requires the carbon nanotubes. And even at 10, I need more than 10. I need more like 15. Like I need more like 15, and I do not have 37.5 biopolymer. Where even is my biopolymer? Do I still have that on here? I don't see that. Have I removed? No, I don't really use blueprints that often. No, I don't have ready-made things for any of the late game stuff at all. Like I just don't use blueprints in that way. Between series, no, absolutely not. Too much changes generally between series to warrant even attempting to do that. There's the biopolymers. I have 15. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna need more of those. I have 15. I'll need to more than double that at some point. Get rid of this grease. I already have that. Yeah, all roads point towards the zinc nano compound. Not like I've scaled the zinc acetate for it. Not like I have 150 Relesia for it. Oh, less. Little bit less. One whole step is productive. One entire step. Oh, glorious, beautiful productivity on one entire step. The zinc acetate does not take productivity. The zinc nano compound doesn't take productivity. And then the zinc nano complex, I believe, also doesn't take productivity. I think nor do the zinc oxide nanoparticles either. Bleh. Pretty sure you're 16. Excuse me. I put 16. Well, no, it's just a lot of this is unnecessary. Like, how should I put this? There is no reason for the volume of these items to be so high. And honestly, a lot of the issue comes down to simply, for the zinc acetate in particular, the fact that it is 10 zinc plates per zinc acetate. Like, that's one of the root causes of the pain here, is that you need so much zinc acetate, and then that's 10 times as many plates to make that zinc acetate. It is the one item in the game, like, you need more zinc plates than every other plate combined. Not really combined, but it's more than every other plate type. You need more zinc than anything else. It is the most used plate because of zinc acetate. The extreme vast majority of your zinc is spent in zinc acetate because it is a 10-to-1 with 0 productivity by default. That is the problem. That is the biggest problem, I should say. Let's not even also think about the fact that we're having to consume 60 chromium for 30, or 65 for 35, and then a whole bunch of methanol and carbon dioxide. The methanol method will vary a lot depending on what you're doing, but this is a ton of resources just for these 35, and I will need to at least have twice this amount. Which is why the late game gets to a point where it's like, oh, just a trickle of stuff is fine. Just a trickle is fine. Just as long as you've gotten greater than 0 stuff, you're good. All you need to do is just get 1 space science to win the game, and then you're done. And it's more manageable when all you're dealing with is just that level of thinking. If you at all want something like 1 circuit per second of circuit 3s and of circuit 4s, it's hell incarnate. It's absolute hell incarnate. So we're going to start with this. I'm going to build out a factory for this. I need both of these things, game. This is the only thing that uses Relesia extract. Yeah, this is the only thing that uses the Relesia extract. So if we could not have that as a separate factory, that would be nice. There we go. Kill you. It also needs steam. A lot of steam. A lot of steam. Oh, and a lot of bacon. Right, and a lot of this stuff. You're a 16. You are also a 16. You are a 16. And you are a 16. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, a lot of these buildings are very, 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 very similar. That looks fine. Give me those. Give me filters. Give me hydrocyclones. And give me evaporators. I'm going to have the bots build the majority of this, obviously, but anyway. Factory! Where will I put this factory? Why have you not built this? Oh. That explains a lot. There you go. Now you can build that. Oh, and this is... I am not the first to complain about this, by the way. I know for a fact that one person in particular has been sounding this horn for a really long time. That being Immortal Sniper. They've definitely been complaining about this for a while, and it's just been ignored. Just completely and utterly ignored. Just specifically the zinc part of it. Like, why? Why is it so much zinc? There's no good reason for it to be this much zinc of just one product. Like, if you really want to see the math and like how much zinc is involved in trying to maintain a specific output of a bunch of sciences in general, like, you'll see it's just massive peak on zinc compared to most everything else. And it's all because of the zinc acetate. Like, 100% is the zinc acetate. It really should not be a 10 to 1 as the first problem. It shouldn't be 10 to 1, and it should be productive. Well, I think Immortal Sniper was working on something like 5 per second of all sciences, a factory of 5 per second. I don't know if he's like increased that at any point, but yeah, he has a plan for 5 per second factory. Yeah, that it's insanity. Big Ali, yes. It's absolute insanity. And it's a lot of zinc. It's a lot of zinc. Yeah, I wish I had picked the Simic zinc at this point. Because, yeah, doubling this is not fun. Doubling this 1,000 molten zinc is not particularly fun. It's like I have the molten zinc for like 400 plus plates, but I need more plates than that. Like, come on. I shouldn't need more plates than that for just like 1 per second of circuits. Like, come on. And like 1 per second of each of these things. Like, I am only getting 1 of these things per second for the most part, except for the like base ingredients that are shared among these things, where I will need more than just the 1. And most of these things I'm only making for infrastructure. It's like, yeah, you're going to want to have as much as you can of these objects so that you can make infrastructure at a reasonable rate, right? Because the vast majority of the infrastructure buildings are going to want to eat more than 1 per second, but you know, it's going to be shared across an entire mall full of requests for these things. You want to pump as much as you can at it to have as much infrastructure as possible available to you, and especially if you want to upgrade the entire factory to Mark III, that's going to be a massive mission, and is generally why I don't do Mark III. I don't generally use Mark III buildings, like, at all, because Mark IV is really shortly coming after this, and the Mark IVs are significantly better, and don't really add as much time, like that much time, considering it's like going to take forever to make the buildings anyway, right? So may as well Mark IV than Mark III. Very, very limited circumstances will I use the Mark III infrastructure. What I will use my Circuit 3s for will be better modules, level 2 modules, at the very least, as well as the Mark III turbines, the level 3 turbines. Those are on the agenda. Anyway, so we're here at this factory. I am going to be placing these. They're going to share the kerosene input. Make sure I give the water inputs to this. Whoops. 4, 5, 10, and 20 down the line. And that is the whole thing. The bots will finish placing this. We are within the range of bots. So 138.9 Relesia, huh? I have 30. I have 30. I think I have 30. Where's my Relesia? Relesia. Yeah, I have 30. I have a red belt net out on the Relesia. And these are not. Oh. Okay. These are not the pesticide recipe. Oh no, they are. They are. There it is. There it is. It's hidden. It was hiding from me. Yes, these are the pesticide recipes. So it's the best it's gonna be on the output. And I need to add at least 4. I need like 4 more of these. Minimum. I don't know how much I can save by using beacons, like any space savings whatsoever from using beacons on the Releasias, because this is sort of the worst case scenario on the beacons. I don't know off the top of my head how much speed you get from a Relesia. Oh, is it actually more? Oh, that's 40. Ah, I can get up to 45 net. I see. It's 30 right now because it's belt limited, but it can do 45. Okay. That's a little bit better, but I still need more than 140. More like, yeah, a lot. So if I were... That's 83. That's still more than any speed module. So if I were to do that, I mean, just with 4, it does decrease the total numbers required, but how big is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just looking for how many beacons fit around you. 16. Am I off a tile? No, don't think so anyway. So it's 16. Can I make the upgraded Relesia modules? Yeah, there's that too. There is that as well. Is there... Ooh. Yeah, it's a problem. So Releasias are not one of the alien life modules that has a method of producing the upgraded versions at scale. We are forced into a 0.5% chance of getting one Relesia for every time we run the cycle, without any other method of improving that output. So it exists, but it's not viable to use them. Which is unfortunate that that's one of the ones that isn't covered. So if I do that, it cuts it to 25. So from 40, that's almost half the number of buildings by surrounding them with beacons. You know, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I think I will do that. But I need to do this build first, so we'll start focusing on this build. Yeah, I figured as much. Yep, so this one is another 16. And I will need 14 of these. Oh, wait. Less. Less than 14. Hold up. Da-ba. 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 There we go. Much better. 13 of these. What a big difference. May as well do all of the... Whoops, you actually go the other way. Do the logistics. 2. So 14 of these. I mean, frankly, if it is going to be a 14, no matter what, may as well just not have the thingies in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then copy and paste. Ta-da! We save about that many beacons, close to 30 beacons, by having the 2 lines like that. And then there was all of that. All right, let's get the power provided. Ta-da! My bots shall build the rest of this. Ta-da! Next. Yeah, that's a little bit bigger. Oh, really? I didn't actually bring that building with me, huh? Whoops, that's too short. That's too tall. It's still too tall. There we go. That's too far. Alright, that's good. There we go. Ta-da! I will need 7 of this. And it's a lot of throughput on the output. Oh, right, that's a lot of throughput. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo all this. Yeah, because the individual throughputs 138.9 divided by 14 is 10-ish. Pretty sure that a single stack inserter is not really up to the task of 10. So I'm going to use a different layout. And I already have this. I can just copy paste. Although it is easy enough to rebuild myself. Please don't steal my stuff! Constructobots trying to steal my stuff. This is my stuff. There we go. Okay. The plan. If this is the input, it will be down there. That is the input. Whoops. And that is the output. Ta-da! Now, there is another problem here, and that is the fact that I have 2 lines, and, well, it's not actually a problem in this one, because my belts have a 90 per second throughput, I'm fine. Ish. Until we get here. Until we get here, and then I need 2 of these. So I will at least need 8 of these secondary crushers. I also need to move this up just a smidge. And copy. And copy. Oh, and power. And power. Excuse me? Oh, yeah, and, you know, power. Ta-da. Times 7 more. Ta-da! So many power poles. Maybe I should just be using, where are they? Hello? Thingies. Maybe I should be using these thingies. Maybe these thingies. Huh? These thingies that are literally designed for this purpose. I don't know. I don't know about you. Maybe I should be using the substations. Have one in each corner. It really depends on the size of the building, though. Like, it will... Just one powers the whole thing on this position on each side. Maybe someday I'll use them. Next hydrocyclone. It is the exact same size. Cool. I like when things are the exact same size. For the exception, I have to build in that manner. You there. Actually, I have to go down one. There we go. You are 70 per second of stuffs on the input. And you don't actually have an output, so that's cool. Yeah, How unfortunate. That will work. While allowing me access to the pipe logistics. And here I need 6, so... Fortunately... we have that. Such a glorious, beautiful savings on our beacon counts here by having these multiple rows and having all this shared. Could you please place the thingy? I know I've got the thingies. There we go. Bots continue to build! 2 more steps. 2 more steps. This next one is definitely not the same size. Ahem. Actually, this next one... Do you even take 16 or do you take 12? I've forgotten. Looks like you still take 16. Need to increase that. Go there. Do that thingy. Grab one of you. I always place one in between anytime we have a different layout. So you take in the extract, and you take in biofilm. I will need 3 of this. 2 and 3. Okay. The extract... Ah, yes, and the steam. Steam is individualized. Because we need a lot of steam. Alright, so you there, you there. They're slowly building. And that just leaves the nanomaterial factory, which, of course, is this size again. Break that. Nanomaterial factory. There. Oh, no, it's not that size. It is smaller. Or, no, it's that size, but it is a different layout on the pipes. Or pipe, singular. You also need like 2 belts in, so this is not the belt layout I will use. Hello and welcome to the end of the stream. Essentially the end of the stream. You to there in. That'll be one of them. This will be two. Right, so that's the two belts in and the one belt out. Copy that times, oh, 6. All right, then. We'll use regular inserters. Yeah. We'll copy this. And then mirror. Time for a mirror. If only it were easier to do this, but oh well. There we go. We have mirrored. And that is that. Yep, that is in fact that. Let's get this extract over, and I believe that is it for the internal logistics for this factory. The robots will be able to build everything else, just barely, but they will. I guess technically I should have another doohickey somewhere, like here. A little bit closer if I ever wanted to scale this and have the bots just build the whole thing for me. Definitely it needs additional Roboports. It always needs more than what you think. Just always needs more than what you think. Oh gosh, so many modules. So how many beacons is this? 367. That's a few less than the 498 that it said that it would need, but yeah, that's because I know how to design to share stuff. I could have potentially set this up to be here and like put this after it. It would have made the logistics harder, but it would have saved some beacons. I'm gonna use more beacons to save the logistics. Oh hey, the baby. There's the baby. He moved. He moved. Yeah, he moved on me. There's the dolly behind me. So that is all of the time that I have for the day today. What have we set up today? We set up Boron Carbide right over here. We set up Boron Carbide. We set up Superconducting Wires. We set up Superconducting Coils. We set up Cooling Systems. We set up Magnetic Cores. We set up Circuit 3s. And we have set up Zinc Nano Compound, with the caveat that I don't have enough Relesia production and I don't have enough zinc acetate production to sustain this factory, and I will in fact need more than this. Overall, I will need more than this. So that caveat there mentioned, in between streams, what I will be doing is all of the train station logistics for all of these factories, so that I will see an amount of circuit 3s in this factory. I will have some circuit 3s moving in this factory, along with the zinc nano compound. What is that going to immediately unlock for me? Well, not the entirety of the circuit 3 of the Mark III infrastructure, not all of it. In fact, almost none of it. What it will do is it will allow me to make a few of the codices that I don't have, like I think for Vonix. I think Vonix is a circuit 3 block to a particular creature. There's some stuff that's circuit 3 blocked for actual creatures. Yeah, I think it's the Vonix at this point that I don't have, because I do have Fat Eye, and I could potentially get into Fat. Oh right, the Fat Eye building. Where's the Mark II Fat Eye building? I'll be able to make that, and I'll have it available to me. The Vonix Den requires the level 3 circuits, so I will be making Vonix Dens. I will also be making level 2 modules, as well as the level 3 turbine. That one will go. I should mention that I do have a singular building that is at Mark III. There is one Mark III building type that has been built, and it didn't need circuit 3s. What was this building? It was the AUG paddock. The AUG paddock at Mark III, for whatever reason, is circuit 2s and not circuit 3s. Yeah, it's neuromorphic chips as well as circuit 2s. So I've made some of those. Just, I don't really plan on using them, but I have them now. So, the next time we meet, what I will be doing is continuing to build the remaining ingredients that will be required to make the remaining buildings at Mark III. That is the plan for the next time we meet. What are those items? And I'm going to do it for the circuit 3s and the coming, or for the Mark 3s and the coming Mark 4s somewhat. Stuff that's going to eventually be used as ingredients, but it is really stuff I should have at this point going into circuit 4s and utility science. This is carbon aerogel, the zinc oxide nanoparticles / zinc oxide zinc nanocomplex, after making this zinc nanocompound that we just made today. Because we made that as well. We're going to make hyperlasting material, harmonic absorbers out of those items, heavy fermion material with 70% powder. I will plan on doing the 70% powder via Simics between streams. Hopefully before Thursday's stream. Carbon nanotubes, diamagnetic material, superconducting magnetic units or SMUs, superconductors, volumetric energy capacitors, titanium, cobalt, chromium alloys, nanoelectrical mechanical systems, or NEMS, and resilin. All of these items that I just mentioned are on the agenda, besides that 70% uranium powder, to do together next time, which probably not going to have the time to get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 items. 14 factories is a lot for 3 hours, even just doing the factories and not any of the train station logistics for that. But, progress, I guess. Progression. Progression. And some of this stuff is used in circuit 4s for intelligent units. Just so we're clear on that, there's some of these ingredients that I'm making that are used here, like the nanoparticles, the nanotubes, like all of this is like working towards circuit 4s as well. As well as towards space science and our other utility science. Because we need superconductors, we need the zinc oxide nanoparticles as well, and we need the nanocomplex and all this stuff. We need the stuffs, and it will very much simplify circuit 4s if I can get all this other stuff on separate factories. So by the time we're ready to make the circuit 4s, it's actually just going to be like the circuit 3s, just individual factory down a line, and we're done with it. Then will come utility science through cotton gut utility science. Well, actually, first is like launching rockets, but yeah, that's going to be part of it. You have to like launch rockets, and we have to do the utility science, ideally. If I haven't already gone through all my utility science by the point we actually get the real utility science recipe, then it's working towards space science, really. I need yellow cake, right? I need yellow cake in space science. Oh yeah, and I need antelopes. Right, I need to do tritium. So after circuit 4s is like rockets and tritium and the cotton gut utility science stuff. Then like yellow cake from uranium processing, going from 40% to yellow cake, the whole complex part of that, and then space science, and we're done. Just those things, and then we're done. Magic. We'll be done. Now that we have the circuit 3s and one of the things with the infrastructure. So yeah, it's infrastructure, circuit 4s, rockets, antelopes, utility science, yellow cake, space science. That's my like notes, what I have for going forward, and that'll be the end. How long that'll take, and how much playtime will be required if I really wanted to maintain the throughputs that I'm building towards. There may come a point I just say, F it, we'll just build what we build, whether or not we have the back-end stuff to support it, and just ignore the lack of resources on the back end, just make a trickle of things, and just call it quits once we see space science. That may end up being what we end up doing. So with that, folks, I would like to thank you all for watching today. This has been Otaku Show, but if you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. I will be back on Thursday with more, and I hope to see you all then.